East Stroudsburg University football with head coach Denny Douds. And Coach, on Wednesday here, going into the Seton Hill game, you've had a weekend and a couple of days to reflect on your season opener. Just talk a little bit about the win over American International 21-14. What impressed you in particular? Let's start with Denny Douds, your sophomore cornerback, PSAC East Defensive Player of the Week.
Oh, he certainly had one of those great games, particularly for an opportunity to start off the season that way right there. He had a couple picks. He had a sack from a defensive cornerback. Had a couple knockdowns, a couple tackles at critical times. He made all the plays and big plays when they were needed to be made. And he's second year playing at the corner. In fact, we kind of joked about it in the staff. We said, hey, last year in our first game, he was a wide receiver, probably about 7th or 8th in the line. And we were looking for some defensive backs and asked him if he'd like to come over to the other side. He volunteered, and he's had a great success factor, and he's getting nothing but better.
He really spearheaded a defensive effort. Obviously, you held AIC to 14 points and a second-half shutout. What really impressed you about your defense with their performance after halftime?
Well, I think you got to look at a couple things. I thought Cody Cox had a super game as well. He's a leader on the defense. He took that defensive line. They're coming along. But the linebacker core and the secondary did a great job for us right there, shutting down not only the run, but also slowing that passing attack down of theirs. And with a veteran quarterback, we thought that they would put it up a little bit, and they did, and our kids played well with that.
On the offensive side, you ran for 173 yards. You ran for 88 of those yards. In the fourth quarter, you came into the season knowing that you didn't have your top two tailbacks from last year, but Robert Healy stepped up, and then Vanda Cruz and Derek Dyer in the fourth quarter.
Well, we have a stable running backs right now, and we lost with the two running backs we lost last year with Derry and Williams in being able to do that. One of the things that you're looking at is Healy. Healy comes with a great history of being won the Thorpe Award. And the Thorpe Award in Long Island is the best football player on the island. And some guys you might have known in the past, guys like Jim Brown, Homer Esiason, they were also Thorpe Award winners. So he's in some pretty heavy company right there. And he came in, he paid his price in our program last year, redshirted. So he's a redshirt freshman. But he played like an upperclassman in an opening game right there. The other two guys, Vanda Cruz, came from Lackawanna Junior College by way of Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Phillipsburg, he was a running back, fullback, and nose tackle. You don't find nose tackles too often playing running back, so he's a pretty tough, hard-nosed kid right there to be able to do that. In fact, last year at this time, he was playing for Seton Hill, so we got one of theirs on our side now, and we're glad they're all with us.
Turning the page now to Seton Hill, usually you'll say that you learn the most about your team from week 1 to week 2, and you make those adjustments. Now your week 2 team is a first-year program in the PSAC. Seton Hill coming from the West Virginia Conference and a new member this year, and a first-year head coach for them. So it's really kind of 2 straight openers from that aspect that you're not exactly sure what they're going to do. You've seen 1 game of film, but not a whole lot to go on at this point.
It really had. Coach Collins came from Widener University in Philadelphia. Now he's coaching at Seton Hill. He's there. He's got some kids, some new kids playing for him. There's 3 offensive linemen, for instance, all pure freshmen right there. They're trying to get their program underway. They throw the ball. They throw the ball an awful lot. We're joking in the office. It might be a 4-hour game. Better bring a snack for late night by the time we get out of there. But they have command. They had a quarterback that was back. He was injured last week. Second-team quarterback came in and threw for 305 yards. That's a pretty good second-team quarterback right there to be able to handle an offense, a new offense. I'm sure they ran it in spring ball to be able to come in and put pressure on Fairmont. Fairmont jumped on them a little bit, and then they came back, finished with, I think the score was about 36-29, and Seton Hill came back strong and had the ball to be able to get out and at least have a tie and have kicked the extra point, kind of won the thing in the fourth quarter.
You're going to a new venue, obviously in Greensburg, a program you haven't played before. You've been in that situation before. In fact, you welcomed Gannon to the PSAC back in 2008. Any kind of experience that you draw from that? And obviously, it is, again, just a program that hasn't participated in the PSAC before.
Well, our new team, but I mean, we've played a lot of teams that we've never played before. I think we've played, I don't know how many numbers over the years in dealing with that. One of the things, you go through a procedure when you play new teams. How do you handle it? Where's the travel arrangement? Where are you going to stay? Where are you going to eat? What's the dressing quarters like at the stadium? Where are you going to have an opportunity to practice prior to the game on Friday, have your walkthroughs and that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Look forward to having that opportunity to do that in Greensburg. We're playing a historical field. War stories tell us that somewhere in the 1800s they played. And there's a rumor that maybe Jim Thorpe might have played on this field too. So if you're a historical buff in the game, hey, it's nice to be able to play some places that you can say, hey, there's people that are legends in the game played on that field as well.
And you're taking, obviously, your Thorpe Award winner in Robert Healy and one of the key components of the offense. He was one of, I think, about 15 players who saw their first collegiate action. You've been through this a number of years, 40 years, and you've seen a lot of first-year players come through the program. But, what kind of benefit do those guys have now of having a game under their belt? Well,
I mean, the game that we had, with AIC was an outstanding game from a coach's standpoint. You like to play a tough opponent. You like to be exposed to a lot of different things, running attack, passing attack, various coverages that your receivers have to operate in, your quarterback's got to read, all of those to be able to distribute the ball around. And then also some other things. We were behind, we played from behind, we tied them in the fourth quarter, and then went ahead in late in the fourth quarter in dealing with that. All of those are those intangibles that you like to have your squad go through. So therefore, they have that experience. So if they get it again, someplace along the season, they've been there and done that, so to speak. First game created a lot of those kinds of situations that allow our guys to be able to grow and develop in those situations.
First of 3 road games coming up at Seton Hill, then at Shippensburg, at Cheney, and then you're back home with Clarion on October 5th. So we wish you the best of luck on Saturday.
Well, I appreciate that. It's like kind of going on one of those Conestoga wagons going across the country. I hope we get back, and I hope we get back in one piece too.
We'll look forward to this Saturday, and then Warriors fans coming out to Isla Martin Stadium October 5th when we host Clarion at 6 o'clock. So best of luck. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate that.